Ooh, that was kind of nice.
Welcome everyone, this is Dom, and this is Modded Minecraft Mondays. Maybe. I plan on doing at least one of these episodes on a Monday, or every once in a while, and release them on Mondays. So yeah, this is Minecraft. We are in the HappyDiggers AMP mod pack, HappyDiggers AMP server, currently testing the 1.7.10 version of the pack, and we have been playing on here for quite a while. Let's get out of this view and figure out why my turtle's not working. So this is the base. Oh, there we go. Yep, this is the base here. This is where I've started and got myself running. For some reason this isn't working. There we go. That's much better. There goes the lights. I always try to build a nice little turtle for my first base. And I built it next to a village over here. I'm trying out a different set of software for recording this, by the way, so just a little bit of a heads up. And it looks like somebody has a grinder built and is grinding some interesting mobs, so it keeps on showing these death messages, but we'll deal with those in the long run. So yeah, this is the base. Inside is basically what I own. These are all of the ores and such that I've collected that are left. These are random blocks, which I will sort so there's space. There we go. There are some more machines and such. All the plants in the game, because we have both Pam's Harvest Craft and what is this thing called? Plant Mega Pack. That's what it's called. Installed. I currently have the... Ooh, that's right. The starter jetpack is what I call it. This is from a mod for Minecraft. Not really a techie mod. There's no fuel that goes in this. And there are huge bugs with the actual jetpack itself. But that's why I always use it, is because it is just really, really cheap. It's just some iron and some gunpowder. And there's no fuel. We have our starter machines, which I use to start out. All the Ender IO stuff, relatively cheap at the beginning of the game. And especially with upgrades, they can go for quite a while. So if you have a bunch of generators and you upgrade, for example, the sag mill and the alloy smelter, they get really, really fast and efficient. A couple pulverizer stuff for some machines. But mostly what I've been working on is getting all of the basic stuff set up so I don't have to worry about food or relatively anything else. I don't really need ores too much, so I don't really have a quarry or anything running. But today's going to be more or less a tour of the server. It took me forever to build this machine. This is a fast travel station from Hyperion Craft, if you guys recognize it. Yay. You can right click, and these are the other ones that exist. So for example, there's one here, here, and here that I would be able to jump and teleport to. This is a nice little program I was working on recently. Just kind of a door open function. It also detects which player is around, and it also controls the pattern there. So if we look at the computer, we hit enter, we can choose the Cylon pattern, for example. And we would do that, and we go back in, hit enter again, and we'll pick strobe now, pattern number 2. And yeah, so that's kind of the point of that. It's by default on, I think, Pong right now. I can change that anytime I want. The two lights going back and forth. So let's get away from the base. That's just kind of a temporary base. More or less that will be only computer craft stuff in the future. My plan for the server and for playing is to not build one base, but build multiple bases everywhere. So there'll be a computer craft base that just does computer stuff. There will be more or less farms, so a tree farm, like a bigger tree farm than this, if I need one, will be with all the plants. That will be a whole base just dedicated to plants. As you can tell, I have a decent amount of wood, and I don't really think I need very much more than that for a while. I have a nice little wheat farm here, which is running off of industrial fertilizer. The only limiting factor right now is my bone meal income. So this village is dedicated to animals. So the barn over here, which is something that I've been continuously working on, is going to be dedicated to storing the animals and harvesting their goods. So we'll have cows, sheep, pigs, chickens, all in this barn here. It'll be relatively loud when we walk in, and hopefully everything will be automated with them, so they will be fed, and all the eggs will be collected, sheep will be sheared, pigs will be slaughtered, and cows will be milked, and also slaughtered as well. All of those will be meats, I think. We'll hopefully be able to fit all of the machines we need in there with them. So the other bases that I have set up still, there is another one which we're actually going to jump to. I use Map Writer for this. We're going to jump to this guy here. This is my Tinker's base in the second village, because I currently am operating out of 3 villages. The turtle is in that direction over there. This is my Tinker's base inside this building. All of these are subject to change. They're just, this is actually the first building I built. I made my seared brick, what is this thing called? Smeltery here. I love how the carpenter's blocks on the corners look. It makes it look so round and nice. So yeah, this is where I've been making some of my tools. I kind of lost a couple of my tools to the end recently. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. I have a little bit of metals left in there, so we can make something in the future. Also in this village are mobs, which is bad, because I swear there was a magnum torch around here somewhere. Down in the railcraft building is my power setup. So any coal I find, I throw into these coke ovens, and then I can use it also to get some railcraft steel. But coal coke burns for twice as long as coal, so basically you're just doubling your resource, which is awesome. And if you can get multiple coal per ore, you're doing that as well. And then our very last thing in this village is the Flaxbeard Steam Power Building, which is a completely temporary setup. And this is actually going to be the first episode, I think, in this series will be dedicated to getting the power armor, or the exosuit, ready to go. And the very last village I actually haven't used in quite a while is over in this direction here. Just kind of on the other side of this little set of trees is another village, which probably will be dedicated exclusively to Thaumcraft. And that will be a compact machines build, I think. So it will just be a couple sets of compact machines running out of the Thaumcraft tower right there. And then also this village will be dedicated to plants. So I will be moving the tree farm, wheat farm, we'll be growing hops from Growthcraft, we'll be growing all the various Pam's Harvestcraft stuff for food in this village as well. And we're going to try to repopulate all the villages. Now, what am I going to do instead of flying between them? I'm going to use Railcraft to build a train system between everything. So I'll be running trains with supplies such as liquids, items, and hopefully be able to get some energy back and forth. I don't really want to build separate reactors or anything like that everywhere, or generators in each city. We'll see though, but I want to know if we can just kind of transmit some sort of energy over the Railcraft trains. And then also for our personal transport, we'll be using the Railcraft tracks to connect all of our bases together, so we can easily get to them with either a high-speed system or easy little ticket system. So that's going to be great. And each one of these towns will have a Railcraft building in it, which is just like that one there. So I'm going to have to build one in our first town, because one does not exist there. What the plan is to use the lobby area here, this little area here, to select your destination. You will pick up a ticket to your destination, and then you will use this little back half here as an elevator to get you down to the subway system, which will connect to the main train lines and bring you between towns. The main train lines will also be using the Railcraft signal system to basically move a train out of the way if there's something else on the line, and to direct all of the trains that are carrying supplies versus a cart that is carrying a player. And so, since this is a server, we do have more than one person on at a time. So what I plan to do is show you guys a couple of the builds that I think are really, really cool. First of all, Insane Jay's build is over here, his house. So we're actually just going to cheat and teleport over there for right now. So hopefully this loads. While it's recording, it doesn't like to load very well. This is J Corp, whenever that loads in. He has recorded a couple episodes in here so far. I think it's 4 or 5 by the time that this video goes up. He's been working very diligently on legit crafting everything and getting everything the way he wants it. So each one of these floors I think will be dedicated partially to a mod at a time. And on the roof, Mupia has been working on all of the things you can grow in the game, mostly essence stuff, it looks like, or magical crop stuff. And the various foods from Harvestcraft, of course. So yeah, that's kind of this whole base kind of in a nutshell. He's using the top for solar panels as well. That whole base in a nutshell. I don't want to show off too much in here because that's kind of his thing. The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to jump back home and use our turtle, use our turtle base to get us to Ethan's bunker. So now we're at Ethan's base. He's living inside of a little, looks like it says bunker on the the fast travel point, so I'm assuming that's what he's calling this, is his bunker. He has all of his machines all hidden behind the walls with these covers and such. He's got a bunch of efficient things. For example, he's also using some Ender IO stuff. He's got a Tesseract going, a lot of thermal expansion things. We have a bunch of mods in this, a very, very lot of mods in here. So, ooh, what is this? No idea. Auto chisel. Well, that's cool. Anyways, yes, he's living in a crag biome, which is from Biomes O'Plenty. It's all this bluish green cobblestone and very, very tall mountains, so we can't even see the floor at this point. We are using the weather mod. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to come here. We're using, I think, weather mod 2 is what it's called. Not sure. But it's particle system based weather events. So the more clouds, the more that spawn around you, the more weather you get. And it gets all the way up into like tornadoes and such. So it's a little bit darker over there. Not sure if YouTube's going to kill that. But as you can tell, the concentration of clouds is a little bit higher, so it's a little bit darker, which means a storm is going to be a brewing over there. And I think Ethan's kind of safe from it above the clouds here. So let's move on to the very last base that we're going to visit before we jump into kind of plans for the rest of this series. Let's jump to Transporter Room 2. Now this is, as you can tell, in the top right-hand corner, a full-scale representation of Voyager. If your guys are Trekkies, this is the base for you. I will try to convince Gyro to put something on YouTube eventually. But this is a full-scale base based on Voyager. It's not really filled properly with all the Voyager things, but it is a one-to-one model, more or less, based on the 1 meter cube by Minecraft. So we just went upstairs the elevator to the bridge here. Here's the bridge. It's quite large, in my opinion. A couple chairs. Let's take a seat. Ooh, there's a typewriter. Can I get out? Thank you. So, yeah, this is Voyager. If you look in the top right-hand corner, the map kind of shows it all off from a flat perspective. If we come outside, we can then look at Voyager from the outside here. It's huge. And it's, like I said, it's not filled properly with all the Voyager stuff, but it is beautiful nonetheless. So it is a humongous build, and from what I remember, I think Gyro said that he was going to smooth out the edges. If not, either way, it looks amazing, especially on the map, because you really just can't get this grand scale with the view distance that I have for recording. Excellent, excellent. And that's going to be it for browsing everybody's bases. So let's go back to home. Excellent. Back at the turtle here. And what I want to do is show off the Thaumcraft base, because that's something that I'm always interested in, is Thaumcraft. As you can tell, I have my thermometer that I always am carrying on me at all times. But the Thaumcraft base is actually inside of this block here. These are compact machines. You're going to need to build yourself a little personal shrinking device, build one of the machines itself, which is relatively expensive, especially early game. And then you just right-click on it, and you're inside. And here's our Thaumcraft base. It's not really developed very much yet, and most of the supplies are actually in here. For example, my furnace and alembics are in here still. I just built this big altar or whatever recently, and a couple sets of our water jars there. Now, the plan is to build multiple of these machines, one for each Thaumcraft purpose. Not sure how well it's going to work for Thaumcraft specifically, but we'll have to see. But if you guys are curious about compact machines, it's an amazing mod. Basically, inside that little block that we saw in the overworld, you have these little cubes. Each one of these cubes is ranges in size from, I think, like as small as a 5x5 to a 13x13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yes, so 13x13 I think is the largest, because this is the second largest. The larger the room, the more expensive they get. If we look at compact machines, the most expensive one takes 8 nether stars to put around a world resizing cube, which these are expensive. And then this is, yeah, a lot of steps to it, but it's quite expensive for the largest box. And I think what I'll do is try to pipe, if I can, the Essentia stuff between a couple of the boxes, which you can do through these ports. Most of these, ooh, that's cool. I didn't ever do that. The ports here on the side are dedicated to in and out of fluids and items and energy and those kinds of things. So basically you can build a whole factory inside one of these cubes, and in the overworld we can take a look at that. Just kind of pump it out from the side. So you can have an entire factory in one block. Make sure you don't move the block unless you've upgraded it with a nether star. If you don't upgrade your block with a nether star, it will spill everything all over the ground when you break it. So right now I actually have this portable. I have upgraded mine, so I can just place it wherever I want. And then I'm good to go, just to jump in. So basically I have a portable Thaumcraft base if I ever wanted to carry those two things on me at all times. So it's beautiful. So I think next time, next episode, and next potentially Monday, we'll see, we will be working on Flaxbeard's steam power, which is in this book here, Esteemed Innovation. So this is how we would get started next week. You would take a book, zinc, and copper to get this, and then all of our recipes are from that part out. So zinc, copper is basically what everything's based off of. And then you make these brass plates and brass ingots, and those basically make everything you need. All of these things from Flaxbeards. One interesting part of Flaxbeards, and what I really want to do, is make the exosuit, which I've already made majority of these parts, and we will just kind of use them next episode and build all of the upgrades for them. These are relatively cheap. They're just mostly brass, which we'll get into. I'll explain how you make that kind of stuff next episode. But what you need to do is actually add upgrades to them. So all of, where are they? For example, the jetpack, the power fist, and then you can add plates to them, so then they have different qualities because of the plates. And then there's a bunch of other things, like the entrepreneur hat is quite expensive, emerald based wise. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you in the next one.